And some people in good kind, like for instance, Flip Wilson dressed up like Geraldine for years,
Mm-hmm.
right? And um, it wouldn't have been a humiliation ritual to make him put on the dress in the movie because he's not perceived as being above reproach in regards to confusing the genders,
Right.
right? But somebody like Red Fox, they put him in one,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? That's humiliating to him.
It is.
He's
It
a
was.
he's a man's man. He don't want to be looked at no kind of ways feminine, but we gonna make him wear a dress in the name of comedy,
Right.
right? You thinking that they laughing with you and they laughing at you. He know
Right.
what's going on. That's why he ain't want to do it. It's the
Right.
same with all the other ones that protested, like Cat Williams. He don't want to do it.
Right. And
He not finna let them humiliate him, and that shows you the level of regard that he hold himself.
right. Right.
Right. A lot of people don't hold themselves in high enough regard to know that it's certain things that you can't put a price on. If everything you have has a price, you have very little value as a person.
Right. Right. They want you to perform these rituals, and then once you get to a certain point, he wants you to give up some blood, sacrifice somebody
The
close to
blood
you.
sacrifice is a whole different thing.
Okay.
When they start taking blood sacrifices for people, that means that they already got that person. Now we got what we want from you. You got to give us something else. Right. But most of the sacrifices that we be thinking these people, oh, Kanye sacrificed his mama. Sometimes they just take them. They'll just take them. They take who they want because they already got your ass. Now they trying to take what you love the most from you. That's why they shot Ennis Cosby. They want to take what you love, the people you love, out of your life in order to make you miserable as possible. Everybody that they're accusing of sacrificing somebody, they probably didn't necessarily sacrifice, but somebody probably sacrificed them on their behalf. It's like when you and your homeboy go sign a record deal, they really want you, right? But in order to put your homeboy on, you saying y'all together. But your homeboy, he want to be the artist, the solo artist, and he want to break free and go solo, right? He can let you get took out the box. And guess who still got the contract?
He do same thing that happened to Takeoff, like somebody said in the comments with the Migos.
Yeah.
Quavo goes solo, Offset goes solo, rather take to me Takeoff was really one of the best rappers out of the group, you know. But that's another thing because we're still talking about secret societies sacrificing because they've been doing all of this stuff for a long time. It seemed
But a
like
lot of it don't happen like people think it happens.
go ahead.
See, when you can control energy, you don't have to always do the sacrifice the way people think,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? They do more stuff in those lodges than they actually do to people. But the work that they do in the lodge, it creates an energy that causes a problem for some people.
Right.
And in the midst of that problem, you might not survive it.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. So a lot of things that's going on right now, like being what they showed us in the what they showed us into the Super Bowl rituals, and
Mhm.
with how they said that pretty much what they decode is saying that it's about to be hard times in America, and that
There's already hard times in this
yeah,
motherfucker. The
pretty
fuck?
much.
About to be. Look, this is the only we the only people in the world, the ones over here on this line. I don't care what your skin color is. Think that we got it so good and it's so much better in so many other places around the world. because of less government involvement in people's day-to-day lives. Over here, they one step from micromanaging our ass, telling us when to wake up and when to go to sleep. Right? It can't get no more messed up than it is.
Damn.
You got people fighting each other because they lighter or darker than each other.
Damn.
You don't know who in your ancestral line. It's too much creeping go on in the human family. Motherfuckers sliding out with the neighbor, the lady in the penthouse, whatever the case may be. It's a whole lot of creeping going on. You can't be sure if you've been in America over 100 years in your bloodline. You can't be sure that you ain't got some cut on you somewhere.
Hey, somebody asked, it says, do you have to do opposite magic to combat their rituals?
Sometimes you can't do nothing to combat them because of the amount of power that they're using. You can only offset it by trying to walk a righteous path. And you still gonna have energy upset because of their work. But a lot of times we have what's called defensive magic.
Mm-hmm.
Defensive magic is used, and then you got protection magic. So defensive magic is fighting fire with fire.
Uh-huh.
Protection magic is putting up a force field to block their attack so you don't have to fight them.
Uh-huh.
And that's the difference in the two.
Hey, somebody said, how do the more Zionist Jews or the Black Hand keep the pale face in check after all these years due to that dirty work, doing their dirty work?
Because they know who's in charge and they know where they at, and they go have meetings with them, and they threaten. They use threats of violence on your whole fucking. They'll erase your bloodline. Yeah, erase your whole bloodline. They'll blow a city up just to get rid of one family. They don't. They know who they're dealing with. They have no conscience. They have no, especially when it comes to warfare. That's why the Roman maxim, all is fair in love and war. No matter if you fall in love with your best friend's wife, you better holler at her. That's fair because you fell in love. Nigga, you better get her ass in there and sit down somewhere and get out of my motherfucking face. I don't want his woman, I want mine. But you got them, they don't care. It's all fair. All that shit fair. Killing babies, raping babies, it's all fair to them. It's not fair to us.
Damn.
This is you don't understand the wickedness of your enemy. That's why you won't never mount up an accurate defense against his wickedry. Because what he's willing to do, you're not willing to do. And he'd just be willing to do it just for fun, where you wouldn't be willing to do it sometime to save another person's life. Because it's too repugnant to who you are. This is how we know us from them. We do a whole lot of dirt, we start having nightmares. They do a whole lot of dirt, they sleep better.
Somebody asked, they said Larry Hoover was out of jail. You heard anything about that, Rod?
I listened to a guy who writes what's called paradoxical literature, and he did a paradoxical release based on Kanye West, but I haven't heard anything on the official channels. But it wouldn't surprise me if he was.
It can mean one thing: Doc for to get out too.
They all they got to get out.
Yeah, they got to let him out.
It's just we got to. So what you're seeing, since we're gonna get into it now, let me roll my sleeves up a little bit.
Yeah, I think this is the time.
Give y'all some insight.
All the chiefs get out.
Okay, remember, the Republic is responsible for liquidating the corporation. In order to liquidate an asset or a set of assets, you have to inventory the assets. You have to know where everything that's been used was used at. You have to know what's remaining in the coffers that's usable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The only way to do that is a series of audits of every aspect of the corporation.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Everybody worrying about Elon Musk gonna take their data and use it against them. Elon Musk don't give a damn about your data. He just want to be involved in something that can erase his family's South African history off of his conscience.
Deep. It's deep.
There is no mining company anywhere in the world that didn't force people to work in unsafe and harsh conditions. None. And the people that was running these operations in third world countries, the people that was the employees was expendable to death. That means when we get done, which we just as soon kill you and let you go home.
Somebody said, what's the deal with Big Meech? I thought he was a chief, and with the ratting and all it. What's the connection?
Read it again, Elder.
It says right here, hold on, put it on the screen for you. Right here, let me roll it back up. God dang, is that it? Okay. Hold on. Oh shit. Right here. Since I thought Big Meech was a chief, does he know he's a chief?
Right now, Big Meech is trying to get his personal affairs in order.
Okay.
He know he a chief, but he don't know his influence yet. It haven't became to his awareness the influence he had teaching those young boys how to live with money and the necessity for him to continue that function. He's trying to reestablish his leadership over his clan right now. Right. Whatever he went through is now lessons for him to use in teaching further. He's not gonna stop teaching the young boys that like to be up under him how to carry themselves and conduct themselves like a man with money. But first, he had to go through the hard decision to be his own man or let another man tell him how to live his life.
Right.
He and this is a classic example of how a chief gonna respond. He gonna do what he want to do, and I don't care what it got to do with you. You know, I appreciate what you did, but I'm still gonna do what I want to do. I fuck with who fuck with me.
Yeah, they trying to say that Big Meech, because I've been keeping my ears to the streets, and they just trying to say that Big Meech ran a Ponzi scam to set Kofi, whatever his name is, up with Tammy. Tammy is the one that he signed his paperwork, his legal as his for fiduciary agent for his BMF and his name brand while he was in prisons. Allegedly, they saying that Big Meat set up a drug deal with Kofi, with Tammy, his fiduciary agent, being the middleman, and then the whole time she was working with the feds, the killer clowns, and that Kofi is now serving 27 years off of that particular thing that Big Meech was involved with, and it was like another one or two other guys supposedly the same thing happened to, and they saying that should Big Meech, if Big Meech is guilty of this, and they got everybody, they got the dude on the phone from jail, they got Kofi saying that Big Meech on his paperwork.
They're not saying Big Meech on their
No,
paperwork.
they didn't say Big Meech. It
They
said
said that lady on their paperwork.
and they didn't even say her name. They just said that she was C1, like informant, confidential informant one. They didn't even say Tammy. So we don't know if it was Tammy or not for sure. But that's the rumors that it
But
was
listen,
Tammy.
if you understand how the feds work,
Go ahead.
then you can see right exactly what's happening. They leveraged her, right? And they can refuse to give her a benefit and transfer the benefit, but they leveraged her. They do it all the time. They did it to Sammy the Bull in order to get John Gotti. They leveraged it.
Damn.
Right? People be, if you don't know how to read law, reading a lot of these cases will confuse you about who's doing what. Right? Big Meech, he his own dude, his own guy. I have never, other than that event where they saying that the lady set them up, I never heard his name involved in nothing like that.
Right,
So
right.
the feds will do it to disgrace his name. That's called hang him in effigy.
That makes sense too, though, Rod. That do make sense. Now that make a lot of sense, there.
And mind you, I'm not defending him because I don't know nothing about the case to the degree where I can properly defend him. But I can tell you who he was from the work he was doing and from where he from and the codes that go with it. But I don't know for sure that what we looking at not as, a setup. Because he don't have no history of sitting on the stand.
Right.
If you're a rat, you're a rat. You're gonna sit on the stand, you're gonna tell it in the police car and at the station.
What he told to get 2 or 3 years off? I mean, like some of the stuff just don't add all the way up to me though. He did 25 years already. I mean, how you tell somebody to still do 25? I mean, you about to get out anyway. You only got to do 20. Well, in the feds, you got to do almost 80-90% of your time. So he's about to get out anyway. So I mean, he pretty much did all of his time.
They only gave him like 20-something years, didn't he?
What I'm saying. He got a 30 piece.
It was time for him to get out anyway, so I don't see him doing that, and there's no benefit in it. There's no benefit in that shit. And he ain't that dumb because he was able to tell us, you know what I'm saying, about how his brother got trapped up using the phone. Yeah. He said didn't nobody catch him for flossing, and none of his guys like that. They didn't catch them with a whole bunch of dope in the car trying to get away. They laced them up off phone call conversations only.
Yep. Yep.
Right. So it just don't sound right, man. Then he took a plea agreement. And a stand-up dude gonna be a stand-up dude. If he wasn't a stand-up dude, the word gonna come out from behind that Fed joint, and they gonna be like, Big Meech a piece of shit. But until you hear them niggas in the joint tell you that, the feds will make a motherfucker look dirty. And they will they'll put a dude in the back of a known unmarked police car, roll the window down, and drive slow through his hood so everybody can see him.
Yeah, I just saw that happen. I know for a fact you ain't lying.
So, and then knowing the reach that he have in the community, I can go out right now in Pontiac and to any crowded event and scream BMF, and them niggas gonna throw their hands up.
Yeah.
I go to Detroit, scream BMF, them niggas gonna throw their hands up. Same with Atlanta. They love Big Meech.
Yeah.
But right now, Big Meech is rebuilding his life in order for him to perform his function properly.
But that might put a nail.
You gotta have an opportunity to rebuild.
Well, so that would be a good strategy for them to tear their brother down, to stop him from whatever else he could do by labeling him as a rat, letting him go back on the streets as a rat.
That's the worst thing you can be in the street. The worst reputation to have in the street is the reputation of being a rat. Because don't nobody want to do business with you. Nobody want to do no stick-ups with you. Don't nobody want to do no burglaries with you. What you on your own. You an island to yourself at that point. Dudes ain't messing with you like that. Every now and then you might bump into another rat that got some heart, and y'all could do some super rat shit together. But that ain't even common.
I think they're gonna use 50 to go to squad the rest of the Big Meech whole get down. I think they're gonna use 50 because 50, man, He's suspect to be with the police. I heard a lot of stories, you know. And then you come to my city, and then you pay the police. You know, you get the police all the money. You know what I'm saying? We
You
don't
got
need
to
more
also
police.
go back to Rampart.
Go
You
ahead.
got to remember, police be off duty, moonlighting as security.
Yeah, yeah.
And who the best security to have?
Police.
I rest my case.
Hey. But then they be walking around with a bulletproof vest on.
Check this out.
Like, nigga, you better not do nothing to me. You got the cops with you, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
You remember murder was you remember murder was the case?
Yeah, with Snoop.
Right. Remember Snoop bodyguard? That dude was shooting, he shot back. Somebody in there. Okay, now, had he been a police officer and did exactly the same thing, nobody would have ever got charged.
Yeah, that's right.
Because he already know what to say in order for nobody not to get charged. Most of us get charged because we don't know what to say when the police stop us. And the best thing we can say is not a goddamn word.
Yep. Yep.
You know? And if you feel like you just gotta say something, just flat out tell them I don't talk to police.
Police got a liability, meaning that they ain't responsible. So if the police pop somebody,
they get qualified immunity, not a liability. It's called qualified immunity.
Yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah.
You gotta remember, the police is literally a policing force of a foreign agency that's occupying our land.
Right. Exactly.
It's the same way you put UN troops on the ground. They just don't call them UN police. Same shit.
Yeah. Same fucking shit.
They charter go back to London, England. They police handbook go back to London, England. They instructional manual come from London, England. If London, England is dictating how they supposed to be operating, and that's who own them. They got their charter, that's who own them. Mm-hmm. They don't work for us. All that serve the community and serve and protect bullshit. That's not why they here.
You're right.
They here to break a nigga neck.
They beat right.
Put him in the chokehold, shoot him in the back.
That shoot him in the back, then throw him in the river. Hey, look, you heard about that? I'm glad you said something about that, Ron. They just found a grave site in Mississippi where they found about 300 black brothers buried in unmarked grave sites. And most of these brothers were either killed in the jail down there or shot in the back by the police in that particular town. And what caused them to find them?
Yeah, that's over a year old.
Okay, it's a year old. Okay, you seen that,
it's
right?
It's over a year old.
Okay. You know, so you got anything on that? Like how does that happen, man? Like in Mississippi, man?
Listen, when you don't have your people checking on you when you locked up, you might not make it.
That's why I say check on your people, man.
Yeah, check on your people. If you got people locked up, you save their life by letting the system know you care about your people.
Go ahead.
And sometimes they can't even get out because they had no visit. They did a 5-year bid, didn't get no visits. He might have to do 5 more years for not having no family involvement.
Damn.
They call it flopping them. They'll flop them.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And then they'll tell him some lame ass excuse like we don't think you psychologically prepared for the streets or some bullshit.
Yeah, I seen that happen too, Raw. They just instead of letting, like they say, they only got 4 years left, and they can they supposed to get out for parole. They'll say, "Oh no, well, you know," and deny.
Come back and see us in 4 years, motherfucker.
And then they had them tied up into something else by that time. If it ain't, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, they the last brother that they buried there is what got him busted. He got hit by the police, ran him over, and then buried him out there. And his mother went to go look.
I only got one question.
Yeah.
Do you think that shit new?
No, that's been going Mississippi now. You talking about Mississippi? You talking about Mississippi, man? I'm talking about
anywhere in this country. Everywhere since 1492, that is not uncommon across the land. Okay. They've been killing us, burying us, making us disappear.
Rosewood, You know, we can call a couple springs out. Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yeah. The only thing they ain't doing now is burning down whole cities like they used to.
Damn, boy, that's a cold piece. I want to do the feds come in? Who come in to do something about it?
You
Like do the
guys remember
town?
the feds ain't even 100 years old. They just not about to turn 100.
Yep, that's right. What 1920 something? Yep.
Right.
Real 1906. They turned the 1906 is when they started. They turned into the feds like in the 20s when J.F. Hoover took over. 21, 22. It's almost about right at 100 years.
Hey, my boy KC sent me something he wanted me to make mention of. It's, it was the what you call that? Cherokee had an agreement. Remember I told you Noble Drew Ali used to be able to go into the courtroom or send a grand sheet and they go in there and get you out.
Right.
This is because it was a treaty.
Okay.
Let me that was after a rebellion in 1866. Actually, this is remember the war 1812, right? Then they had to renegotiate. They renegotiating treaties. This one don't get settled to 1866.
Okay.
By the time it's settled, the Cherokee Confederacy, or the Cherokee Alliance, I should say, had seized a whole bunch of holdings of the corporation as tribal assets.
I'll go ahead.
So they gave them a treaty that said that if the U.S. corporation was to catch a Cherokee, they can't hold them for criminal charges. They have to release them to the Cherokee Nation. Okay, now, do you remember what tribe Noble Drew Ali was the high chief of?
Cherokees.
So when he's exercising treaty rights, he was able to send those grand sheiks that was in good standing to go into the courtroom because you had nothing to do with the debt that they had incurred settling over here on our territory.
Right.
So when whoever it was went behind Noble Drew Ali back, signed some kind of contract with the corporation to do their work inside of the Moorish Science Temple.
Man, it could have been Kirkland. Look, hey man,
look. We don't accuse nobody. The records is there.
Yeah, it's there.
They have the records. So don't say C. Kirkman Bay. Don't say Mealy Yield. Right. Don't say what was the other guy named Gibbonsville.
Lomax. We know
Lomax Bay. Look, the reason why I'm saying that because a lot of the Moors have taken alliances and chose sides with these different people.
Right.
And none of them might not be the guilty party. But whoever the guilty party is their signature is whose signature is giving them permission to call a Moorish American a U.S. citizen. Yeah. Noble Drew Ali wouldn't have never did it because he understood the treaties.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I said when I heard them the Moorish Canaanite guys talking about, oh yeah, well we U.S. citizens. I say, man, that sounds like totally against what Noble Drew Ali. They saying that Noble Drew Ali taught this. I'm saying, man, it don't line up. That don't line up.
You know what Noble Drew Ali said about these people? He said, don't be flashing your nationality card in their face. Right. Don't be running up on them trying to belittle them. You stay out their business. You keep your wrongdoing out the eyesight of the public, and you let them go about their business, and you stay out their way.
Right.
Sometimes they have to interact in different forms of day-to-day life. And in that case, if something happened that resulted in a criminal charge, a grand sheik's supposed to be able to come in and get you out. It's been usurped. Right. So now the grand sheik going in there to get you out, his ass might get arrested too.
Yeah. And it's all intimidation and, We don't give a damn. We criminals anyway. So we ain't gotta listen to you. We criminals. This is criminal. We commit crimes here. Really, technically. So what you saying, we know you talking law, but we criminals. We don't give a damn. A criminal don't give a damn about you talking no law. They gonna lock your behind up anyway.
The only reason why they give us the title of criminal is because all crime is commercial.
That's right.
And as a commercial enterprise, you have to identify the person that you are charging with a crime.
Right.
So you can get paid.
Right. It's all about getting paid. It's nothing personal. It's all business. Pretty much.
The dollar done got a whole bunch of people in the huckabuck, I'm telling you. A lot of good people done got caught up in some nasty stuff about that money.
Yeah, over some money, man. I done seen some. Yeah, you're right. I done seen some people get took out, man. They ain't coming back for a couple of dollars. For a couple, not. I know. I'm talking about less than 100, 200-300. He gone. Yeah, hey, two.
All
people.
I know, the last $2.
Man,
I'm not gonna lose.
Some people
The
don't play
last $2.
I ain't gonna lie though. Some people don't play about their money.
Mm-hmm.
They go.
But see, if you don't learn certain key principles about money, you will always find yourself falling out.